Hello, everybody. I hope you all are safe and everything is good on your side. So we are starting today our 4 days of ASOdesk Academy. We'll be talking today about analyzing the apps, finding the models for growth. We'll be talking about this from the perspective of our app and from the finding the models for growth for our app, and we'll be talking about our competitors, how to get inspired by their ASO steps, how to find ideas, what should be done from our side while analyzing their apps and their app store optimization strategy. And we'll have a big part of practical analysis of the application. So guys already sent me 3 apps. Pavel confirmed the 3rd one. So we'll be talking about the fighting trainer, we'll be talking about the flash score, and about the black roll apps. So as you have sent me all these apps just 1 hour ago, so I was not able to go through these apps, so we'll be doing everything live. So I will ask you to share your thoughts about different things about this app. So I think today's lecture will be interesting from the practical usage perspective. So we'll have today 2 lectures. So the first one will be the express audits for mobile applications growth modeling, and the second one, which we'll have in 1 hour and a half, we'll have this lecture. We'll talk about the audit of the competitors' application. In the first part, we'll have a broad practical part. In the second lecture, we'll have only theory. However, it will be some kind of almost the same in the second lecture. However, we'll look how to find, because all the competitors are different, so we'll talk which competitors have more value in terms of app store optimization for our app, and which competitors are less interesting to create growth models for our application. So yeah, I've thought that a lot of students joined our Slack community, and some of you posted the links to your applications for today's audit there. So great, and everybody is welcome to join. So lecture plan today, we'll be talking. This lecture will be repeated 2 times. However, like the slides will be almost the same. However, we'll repeat them 2 times, as we'll be talking about looking at the different parts of the app's metadata from the point of increasing conversion, and from the point of increasing installs rate. And that's interesting because, for example, we'll be talking about the title and how to do title to increase conversion using the title, and how to improve install rate by making changes in the title. So again, my name is Artem. Who forgot what is my name? So as of today, we've done almost all the parts of App Store optimization. So we know how to build semantic core. We know how to prepare the metadata. We don't know how to measure efficiency of iterations. We know how to work with iterations. We know how to work with the keyboards tab. And today, at the point when we are talking about the growth modeling, so we are talking about so we've done all the steps, we've done a lot of iterations. So now we need to find out some models for growing our app, despite the fact that we have done already a dozen of iterations, and we have a lot of information about our keywords, our rankings, our possibilities to rank for some keywords. So now we are creating models to continue our App Store optimizations. So today we'll have, in the first part, we'll have a kind of a checklist to watch when analyzing an application. So why do you think we need such a checklist for analyzing a competitor? What are your thoughts? Why do we have kind of a structure when we are analyzing the competitor? So shouldn't we just look at the competitor and just find out some details and that's all? What are your thoughts, guys? What do you think? So we've got yes, you're right, Pavel. That's a good answer, because when we have a structure, we have a checklist. So we are moving from the point to point, and we are looking at the different elements of the textual or visual metadata, and we are going step by step. And when we don't have such a checklist, we are not able to create right growth models, and there's such a if we don't follow such a checklist, which we'll be talking about in this lecture, our growth models won't be enough sustainable, because that would be just an idea. So I saw an icon of the competitor, or I came just to some point about my icon, and I follow in this this idea. However, I haven't went through the semantic cohorts of the keyword. I haven't checked the title, the screenshots, and so on, and I'm just missing a lot of information, which is important for improving my icon. So yes, as I've said, that we need so this kind of analysis is important because it helps us to look for opportunity for growth and the app's problems compared to competitors' products. So models can also be developed to improve conversion, improve number of installs, and we need such an analysis to improve other business metrics. For example, we're not happy with our position in the rankings in the category, so we are trying to climb to the top of the category. So that's the main reasons why we provide such an analysis. When do you think we should conduct such a growth hypothesis analysis? So we are doing App Store optimization, we are doing something. So at which point we are doing such kind of growth hypothesization? At the beginning of the ASO, or in the middle, after some steps? Like, when should we conduct growth modeling? Your ideas, guys who sent us the apps for analysis today? When do you conduct any growth models? Like when do you sit down, look at your app, and just try thinking what might be the ideas for improving my application? I see your answer, Roger. Not exactly, because that's more about you are talking about like super general stuff, but we are talking about App Store optimization. So like we have already an app, and yeah, that's good. The good answer, Alexander. All the time, Pavel. Okay, that's maybe a good answer as well. Every week, however, I like the answer all the time, because normally when we are conducting App Store optimization all the time, yeah, that's the right answer. You all the time analyzing the app, looking what can be improved. So when we are following this iteration framework, so we are doing outreach iterations and relevance iterations and iteration for improvement of the install rate. We all the time need an ideas what we are targeting, what is our idea, because it is totally understandable. The first 10 iterations we're doing all the stuff which we see on this slide for the first time. So we're checking different cohorts, keywords, but after 10 iterations, basically you know almost everything about your keywords and positioned by these keywords. And after this time, you are thinking about your conversion rate, you are thinking about your install rate, you are looking at your competitors, you are looking at different external and internal metrics, and you are trying hypothesizing, like finding some models to structure all the knowledge you have about your application, and to follow this cross. Because if, like, imagine you've done 10 iterations, for example, you see that for example, there are 15 keywords by which you might rank, for example, into the top 10. Then you've got a lot of keywords with high traffic score, and by these keywords, the highest position you might rank for is, for example, position number 20. And then what else? You can't be just changing all the time keywords, moving them from title to the subtitle or to the keywords field, but you won't rank if you don't have an idea, some growth model. For example, I will be targeting a given semantic cohort, and I will to target this semantic cohort, I will update my icon, I will update my screenshot. So for example, as we've took this example of fitness app in United States. So for example, we are targeting fitness and workout at home. So we are targeting semantic cohort regarding the home. We update our icon a bit to resemble a home keyword. This is like an audience which is doing fitness and workout at home. We are update our screenshots. So we have this tiny a small idea that we have a growth model. We want to try to target the audience which is training and home. So we both targeting this audience from the point of view of App Store optimization. We are using the keywords which are important for us. So home fitness, home workout in the title, in the subtitle. Plus we update our screenshots. Plus, when we are doing at the same moment marketing campaign, we are trying creating ads in the same topic and creating the same ads visuals, which will forward the customers from the different platforms to the App Store. So we have these small growth models, and we are following it. And if we don't have such a growth model, then we're just iterating, but without any goal, without any idea. We're just trying to repeat the same, which we have been doing already maybe 10 iterations ago. So that's the right answer. So we are all the time we're doing App Store optimization, but if we do have ASO lead, so ASO lead is responsible for this, so for creating growth model, thinking from the higher level at the analytics, external and internal metrics, and proposing the models to follow for ASO manager. And if you are an app owner or app developer, so you should be careful about thinking only about iterating, but you should be both concerned about iteration and trying to look at your app from the higher level and create some models. So what can we analyze when trying to create a growth model? So first of all, and the most important thing, we are analyzing our application page. we're looking at the icon, screenshots, title, how everything looks like, what is the impression it gives us when looking at the whole application page. Then we can look at the search preview. How do we look like in the search results and in comparison to our competitors, and in different positions, when we are in the first position, when we are somewhere in the middle between other apps. We can analyze our ASO strategy, so to understand ourselves, like what are we doing, what is our goal at the moment. So of course, we know that the main purpose of App Store optimization is to maximize traffic score, but you know that we have three kind of iterations, and only the third type of iterations is responsible for install rate improvement. The first and the second is responsible for increasing visibility, and then making the funnel, narrowing the funnel. Then we can analyze the reviews handling strategy, or the way how do we work with our reviews. This is an important thing. When I mentioned this on Monday when I was talking about the doing App Store optimization on Google Play. So what is our strategy? Or do we answer to the reviews without keywords, or should we target some keywords in our answers to the reviews? Do we try to update reviews when we have like updates for the customer? Do we propose any like features or try something in the reviews? Do we answer like with the short answers to the reviews or not? So thinking when creating growth models, we are looking at this reviews point as well to analyze. Then we are looking at other parameters, which are the app size, the app rating, and many other parameters which must be available for us at this given moment. So keep your goal, as I have said, keep your goals in mind. So always remember, what are you doing at this moment? Not just iterating, changing the keywords, or doing something just for doing, but make clear goals when you are analyzing and creating growth models. So let's talk about modeling for improving conversion rate. So guys, what do you think? What affects conversion rate? When we have an app, what affects conversion rate in the like the most? So we have in-app, and we see that our conversion rate is, for example, below 2% from impressions to installs. So what would we think we should do to improve our conversion rate? Right, screenshots, very good. Screenshots would be especially important for conversion rate from product page view to installs. Yeah, Emmanuel, screenshots, yeah. What else you think? Visual impression, right? Rating, yes. Visual impression and rating. Rating is always important, because we see rating just below the title and next to the icon. So all the customers are seeing rating. And if I am not wrong, I've read a few researches, and I think around 70% of users say that before downloading and installing the app, they are checking the rating and a few reviews to the app. Yeah, title and the app icon. Yes, the most visible parts. And first of all, these are visual. Yes, Rashid, good. Improve product quality, show a social proof. Yeah, rating plus screenshots, reviews. Yeah, you are all right. So when we are talking about the conversion rate, we're talking about the elements which do not influence search algorithm directly. They are intended to influence our users. So these are icon screenshots or video previews, our textual metadata. First of all, icon, title, subtitle, or title, and short description on Google Play. App size is important. And frequency of updates, because you see just under the reviews, you see the last update. So according to a few researches, people are checking when the app was updated the last time. So for them, it's kind of understanding that this app is developing. So yeah, that's about conversion rate. So let's talk in detail. So icon, we've talked about this example already, that when McAfee decided to save some place in the title, and they moved their brand name to the icon. However, it's not always because of this. Look at the examples on the right. So you see this Yahoo email. A lot of different systems for emails, like Gmail and others, they have envelopes on the icon. And you remember that on Google Play, in search results, we see only the icon and the app title. So when we are looking for some mail management app, when we type email, for example, in the search results, we'll see 20 icons which are almost the same, which have envelopes. So that's a good trick from Yahoo. So they pushed their brand name on the icon just to kind of receive a proof from a customer. So somebody who is looking for email organization app, they will see that the icon, and there is written Yahoo. I heard about Yahoo. So in the dozen of different no-name apps for email management, I will choose the one which is from proven developer. Another thing is Easy Taxi example. Look on the bottom of the icon, they wrote the brand name Cabify, because a few years ago, Easy Taxi and Cabify, I don't remember who exactly bought whom, but Easy Taxi bought Cabify or vice versa. But the point is that they didn't delete one of the apps, so they saved both apps. So to make this interconnection, and such an icon which you see for Easy Taxi, it is pretty popular among taxi apps. So a lot of taxi apps are pushing cars on the icon. So Easy Taxi had this icon for many years. Then most probably they decided they don't want to lose this icon, because it is well recognizable by the users of Easy Taxi. However, they wanted to underline that they are a part of Cabify team. So they pushed, despite the fact that they have Cabify in the title, they pushed this brand name to the icon, which is again a good trick to stand out of crowd in the search results on Google Play. So and that's the only thing, as we've said, that if we put icon brand name on the icon, we don't affect search algorithm on Google Play or App Store. We influence a user to get some proof, to get to catch an eye of the user, and make them tap on our app. Another thing for growth hypothesis is that when we try and stand out of the crowd among other apps, is to add other different elements on the icon. Most probably you all know this trick when the apps are adding a red circle with, for example, number 1 in the right upper corner of the icon. This trick is working always, because all the users are got used to the to this red circle in the upper right corner, because we have a notification sign there for all apps on our devices. So ASO practitioners frequently are adding this red circle in the right upper corner of the icon, just to, again, to stand out of the crowd of other apps in the search results. And that's working perfectly. I used this trick just to try in one of our taxi apps. Yes, plus 10% of installs we were getting due to this. So ASO practitioners are adding a lot of things on the icon, and one of the example is an event. So Fine Scanner, they were celebrating 10 years of existing, so they added this element, and that was one of the growth modeling. So they were they had it on the icon, they had it in the description, they added to the description a few links about being like the best app of the year, or the best app by some journal, and something else. So so they were basically, that was their growth model to receive more social proof from the users and make them download the app. Another thing is a combination of the icon with other elements on the page. This is especially important for App Store. As you remember, in App Store we always have an icon with the screenshots together. So that's a good trick when the especially when the app is working on the improving brand awareness. So they are posting some elements from the icon in the screenshots. So so a user has a better a feeling of brand on their page view, and it's widely used trick to combine elements on the screenshot and the icon. So that's another growth model, right? That we're trying to improve our brand awareness, and especially improve conversion rate by our branded keyword. Another thing is standing apart from the crowd in terms of icon when we are analyzing our competitors, and we are thinking about our icon, how to be different from other icons. So to save some elements which are characteristic for all the competitors from our market niche, but at the same time to be different. So looking at the icons we have on this on this slide, we see that the blue color is it is popular for such travel apps. However, some of the apps, such as 123, you see TripAdvisor, they are looking, they like change colors, and they are really looking different from other icons. So most probably I was mentioning this on Tuesday when we are talking about the semantic core filtering from non-relevant keywords. So you see here the two screenshots from ASOdesk platform. So we're opening the competitors tab, and we can look at all the competitors' icon at the moment and try to hypothesize how can we stand apart from the crowd of other icons. Or the same we can do when we are in the other tab of ASOdesk platform. So we can look at all the icons when they are vertically filtered. So that's another point. So when talking about the screenshots in terms of conversion, we're talking about the orientation landscape or portrait, we're talking about the caption of the screenshots, the size, the meaning of the screenshots, some words or other elements which we are putting on the screenshot. We are choosing an image for the target audience, so that's a good case. You remember we talked about the Wear Fitness app. Then when they changed, first there was a young lady who was training at home, and then after 1 month and a half, they had on the first screenshot young lady and young gentleman. They were training at home, so they changed the audience and overall arrangement of elements. So, for example, let's look at the verb. Yes, that's a new screenshots which they published at the end of May. You remember? So they are capturing the topics lose weight and get fit at home, and the audience is very clear. Young people who are training at home. Then another thing are screenshots arrangement. So as we've seen one examples of arranging different parts of the icon to the screenshots and vice versa. So at this point we see this heart which is used on the screenshots. So they are kind of improving their brand awareness, and they are using this heart to be recognizable by this heart. So then they can play with this heart in many visual assets and in their marketing campaign. So you might like one of the growth hypotheses. So you see that for example, all your competitors, they have something recognizable. Let's say one has a blue elephant, another your competitor has I don't know, red dog or something, and you see that your app doesn't have some mascot. So you might arrange, for example, some moment from the icon and try to add it to the screenshots and to other visual elements, and in general to implement this into your brand development strategy. So that would be a good attitude to the growth hypothesis. Another important thing is regularity of new reviews and your rating. So that's I think it's clear that the higher the app's rating and the more daily positive feedback it receives, the higher the conversion. So people like good apps. If I'm not wrong, even in Google Play console, there is written that if you have a rating of 3.5, you are losing kind of I don't remember, perhaps 30% of your traffic if you were, for example, 4.5. So that's obviously very important to have a higher rating or higher rating. In my opinion, app might have like the minimum good rating level, which is okay for an app. I think it's 4.1, 4.2. When my apps have the rating 4.3 up to 4.5, that's good. I'm always happy. If the apps have the rating between 4 and 4.3, then I am trying to increase the rating to be higher than 4.3. When the app is when the app has a rating 4.5 plus, or the best one is 4.7, because when we have the rating 4.7, these 5 stars which we have on the stores, they're like filled in with the color in full. So when we have I hope you understand. So when we have a rating 4.7, all the stars, they're like filled in full with some color. And when if we have a rating below 4.7, the fifth star is not filled in full with this color. So 4.7, this is like a perfect rating. Everything that below higher than 4.3, good. And if our rating is lower than 4, it is definitely has to be improved. So what can be done if we have bad rating? On App Store, we can reset a bad rating. So when we submit a new build, we can mark a point like to reset a rating. So after this build being approved by App Store reviewer, your rating is reset, and like you're starting from 0. The next important thing, you might introduce review prompts selectively to the apps. That's a big topic. To push your development team and ask them to implement a review prompt if you don't have it, or if you have problems with reviewers, with the rating and with the reviews, you should and you have a review prompt, you should check at which moments users see your review prompt. That's possible that you need to change the screen on which you show the review prompt for your users. And in the last conference, I liked very much, if you remind me in Slack community, I will check out this article for you. In the last conference in Berlin, it was online, but still we name it ASO conference in Berlin. This is like the biggest conference in the world about App Store optimization, and basically the only such a conference. So there was a lecture from one, he's developer, I think, but he has his own apps, about the creation of the review prompts, and that was nice. He was sharing different libraries on GitHub for better for creation of better review prompts. And and there was another very nice presentation from the ASO experts from Feature company, and they shared a very nice table of analysis of review prompt and pre-review prompt to ask user for a rating or for review. So that's a big topic. So if you don't have review prompt, ASO a practitioner is obliged to make clear for app development team to introduce this review prompt. If you have a review prompt and you have a problem with the rating in the reviews, you should check out at which moments your users are being prompted to leave a review and leave a rating for your app. Another important thing, but sometimes it is a must for app developers, it's to purchase reviews and ratings regularly. So there are countries, and that's absolutely true. In my practice, it works 100%. So there are countries where users are more dissatisfied than in others. So sometimes to be on the top in the ranking, app developers are purchasing from time to time incentive feedback. So there are different places where you can like pay some money and to get reviews. So of course this is a gray ASO. It's generally it's a very bad technique, and it is and the Google Play and App Store might even punish an app developer and App Store optimization manager for such techniques. However, sometimes when you have a rating at level 3, you are obliged to find out more positive ratings, just to not lose position by the keywords, or position in general by rankings. And of course, a very important part of the improving conversion and creating a modeling for growth rate is a respond to comments. I hope on my lecture on Monday clearly showed why it is important that users see a notification on the main screen of an Android device that the developer responded to the review. So let's look at the checklist for the name and subtitles. So first of all, we need to check whether they are visible and in the search result. I will show you what does it mean in the next slide. So it is important to check whether we are using all available characters. To use the brand name, or should we use or shouldn't we use at this moment the brand name? What is the importance of usage of brand name usage for us at the moment? We should check whether we are employing really strong broad keywords. And the last point, we were talking about this point when we talked about the Google Play optimization and to make the title convenient for user, understandable. So let's look in details in each point. So visibility of the name and subtitle. As you know, in the search results, we don't see the full title of the application. So, for example, in this screenshot, you see that there's a taxi app on taxi, and then book a taxi, and there is a cut under which we don't see the rest of the title. However, that's a good example. Then they calculated the number of the characters which are seen in the search results. So in this is not, of course, obviously, this is not 30 characters. So these are less. I'm not sure. I think it's kind of 20-something characters which we see in the search results. So, but we see the most important thing. You see, on taxi, book a taxi. So that's good job from the ASO manager. Another good example is Uber Eats. Look at it. So we see in the search results the most important things. Like we see Uber Eats, we see that this is about food, and this is a delivery. So for us, it is clear that yeah. Thank you, Tomasz. We see that it's about food delivery. So because I'm sure that not all the users like know what is Uber Eats, especially those are from 40 plus or 50 plus. So, however, in the search results for us, it's totally obvious what is Uber Eats about. It's about food delivery. So when you are creating a growth hypothesis for your app, you can always like check this, as Tomasz perfectly noted, this 21 characters, what users will see in search results. Another thing is about the short description or promo text. So to employ strong broad keywords there. So so just we are using keywords and which are important for App Store optimization and for conversion, like to make user understand what is your app about. Important to use all available characters, make convenient for users, yeah, and updated promotion at special events. Yeah, that's great technique. A lot of apps, almost all the apps are using. So when something important happens to such apps, they are posting this information to the promo text on App Store for iOS app and short description on of Android app. So promo text, nice example from AB Fine Scanner. So you see they've got nice subscription, 50% off, premium lifetime. So they wrote about this. So all the users who are on their app page, they see it's directly under the screenshots, and you remember that first you see title, icon and title, then screenshots, and just under the screenshots you see this information that you have this special event update. Another important thing is to analyze your growth hypothesis is a checklist for your description. So what is the structure of your description? These questions, why, how, and what. A structure of an Android app description is even is a bit different, because for iOS app we cannot use HTML modification of the text, and on Google Play we can use both emoji and HTML modification of the text, editing of the text, and whether we are using media feedback and rewards or not. So let's look at the example of again app-defined scanner. So at the very top of the full description they have written with a caps lock key features, and then they are describing the main features of the app. Then below this information, they are adding social proof information, rank #1 in business application, winner of some award, and so on and so on. So oh, excuse me, not below, but above the key features. So to check whether what is the structure of your app, what is the structure of your competitors, and update your full description structure, and perhaps to sync it with your App Store optimization steps at the moment. So what are you targeting? You are targeting, for example, audience with for whom social proof is needed. So you are adding all this information to the full description, and you are updating somehow your visuals and perhaps adding some I don't know, element to the title or subtitle. Yeah, and talking about the Google Play, it is how to say, easier on Google Play to structure our full description. We like very much this example of scanner app. I don't remember from which developer on Google Play. So everything is divided in blocks. Each block has its name. Each block name is in bold. Plus, we have different emoji at the beginning of the block's titles. So, in my opinion, this full description is very nice to see, like very understandable, very clear for a user. And a checklist for what's new. A nice practice is to call to leave a review, perhaps add some news there, or ask users to join a social network, or drop a message on support. So, for example, let's look at the what's new of Telegram app. So you see they are using caps lock to catch an attention of a user, that they added new media editor, better GIFs, and more. So to grab a few attention from the users, they used caps lock. So while analyzing your app, you might look at your what's new and perhaps create some kind of strategy or models for filling in what's new, which message you would like to share with your user, or, for example, as we've said, you are sharing a news about special event about your apps, that you've got some awards, so you can add information in the caps lock in your what's new. So going, as I have said, this checklist is very important to look in structure at all your apps. So we are looking at the metadata, then we are going to what's new, short description, thinking about what's going on with your app. So this helps us to create a really not maybe data-driven, but argumented growth hypothesis. And checklist for other parameters. So sometimes it is worth checking from times to times your website and frequency of updates. For example, look at the app size of different airlines in Russia. So look at the size of their apps. So some of them have size of some of the apps is below 100 megabytes, and some of them are above 100 megabytes. So it sometimes it is worth to ask a question: why our app is has such a size and our competitors has lower size? And what is the problem? Perhaps we need to erase some SDK from our app. Perhaps, for example, there's an SDK for scanning the credit cards, which weight a lot. So if we see that our competitors are not using this, and thanks to not using this SDK, their app size is much lower than ours, that perhaps it makes sense for us to delete this SDK also, because all the iPhone and Google Android users at some points are coming to the moment when they don't have a lot of memory on their devices, especially when they are using device for a couple of years already. They don't want to delete their photos or private videos, so they are looking for the apps which takes the most place on their memory, so they will delete it. So that is always one of the points which we can take into consideration when looking for growth models for our app. So that's an example. And other ranking factors which I hope which we were talking on Tuesday about ranking factors. So we can look through all these ranking factors and find perhaps some dependencies, some seasonality, some ideas for growth. So for example, in my practice, how I'm doing, so sometimes when I'm thinking about growth modeling, what we can target, I have no ideas what to iterate in the next month or two. So for example, I'm opening install rate for the whole year for my app, and I'm trying to get the idea when my app was growing, when my install rate of my app was decreasing, what are the weekdays, what are the months, what are the festivities, when in a given country people have vacations or special events in this country. And sometimes just looking at the 1 year of install rate for your app, you might come to some idea. For example, it is well known thing that in Arabic countries, after the Ramadan time, Ramadan is normally somewhere at the end of April and May or beginning of May. So basically they have Ramadan somewhere in May. And after the Ramadan, people in Arabic countries, they are like spending more time with families. They are like going to restaurants and so on. And as well, if I'm not wrong, 2 weeks before Ramadan, people are going for shopping in Arabic countries. So if you don't analyze your install rate, you will never in course of the year you will never come to this point. But if you look at in terms of 1 year of your install rate, you might came to this point that, oh, look, in Arabic countries, that something interesting happens 2 weeks before May, 2 weeks or the full June, So you start in reading, you understand that this is a Ramadan time, you understand what people are doing during this time in Arabic countries. So you might create some growth models for this time in terms of conversion rate, in terms of install rate. You might think about your icon and etc. So you'll be using this checklist, which we are like moving through in this presentation, and finding some points which you will be doing starting already in March, preparing everything to be prepared for Ramadan time and for post Ramadan time. So we've done this checklist for conversion rate. So we've been talking about improving something which affects our users' experience about our app. So let's now talk about modeling for install rate improvement. So what affects install rate? You already perfectly know that name, subtitle, keywords, short descriptions are affecting install rate. They are directly analyzed by Google Play and App Store search engines, our keyword strategy, keyword research strategy, our extra localization, internal purchases in searches, rating, and the regularity of new reviews. They are directly influence the machine which is analyzing the apps and thinking which app should be on which place in search results. So a checklist for the name and subtitle, where we are using all available characters or not, whether we're using a brand name or not, whether we are employing strong generic keywords and not. So again, that's the same thing we were talking about the conversion rate. However, in this moment, we can look. So we can look at the title and subtitle in terms of conversion, whether this would seem nice for the users, and how our search engine will see our title. So, for example, we've been caring more about let's say. Oh, that's an example. For example, we are saying that we have one keyword, like we like the place in the title to add one keyword, because our app owner is saying that the brand name must be in the title, and so we don't have enough, for example, 5 characters to place some keywords in the title. So we might kind of analyze the title and go to the app owner and say, listen, let's try to move our brand name to the icon or to the subtitle, and let's just try. Let's follow this cross model and add a keyword instead of the brand name, and let's look at our conversion rate and our impression and install rate. You will see that our by removing brand name from the title won't affect that much our conversion rate, and it will improve our install rate and impressions rate. That means that that's not that much important for our users to have a brand name in the title. So so by looking at the title from the 2 perspectives of conversion rate and App Store optimization, we might come to some ideas about the growth hypothesis for our app. Another thing is a checklist for keywords again. So we can check sometimes spaces, whether we don't have any extraneous spaces or characters. We can check whether we are using all available characters. Perhaps we can free some place in one of the locales and yeah, add some more keywords. Test all the keywords which we are using with traffic score. Perhaps one of the keywords we are using, or a few keywords or a group of keywords, last traffic score, and we can replace them with another keywords. So when talking about App Store optimization, we remember that the main purpose is to maximize search traffic for your app. So we can follow two possible keyword research strategies. So the one which I advised you to follow at the beginning of App Store optimization. So we might target low and middle traffic wires if we have a limited budget, which is the most of the cases, and we can decide to target high traffic wires, but we need some kind of a budget to jump by these keywords from, I don't know, top 20, top 30 to the top 10. So and these strategies about the keywords which we are targeting should be different for different regions, because sometimes in some country by a given keyword we cannot reach even top 20, and in another country with the same high traffic query we're able to reach top 10. So it all depends. We shouldn't use one of these keyword research strategy to all the countries, but to analyze each country and decide which strategy to choose. That's why, if you remember, I said that for ASO practitioner to do 2 iterations for 5 locales a month, that's the maximum, because each time you are choosing locale, you should choose your keyword research strategy. You should analyze competitors in this country. So it's a lot of job. So as I have said, I'm pretty sure that it is hardly possible to make more than 2 iterations for 5 locales for an app in a month for a practitioner. Perhaps if you are so smart, you are able to do 1 to locales plus, but no more. So type of iterations by purpose. You remember, so that we have coverage iterations, we have semantic core or relevance iterations, and we have install rate maximization iterations. So when we are preparing a short description for Google Play, again, we should check whether we are using all available characters, where we are not spamming. So like 2 times to use keywords is the most we can do for an app, and whether we are using employee-destroyed generic keywords. The one might think that sometimes I'm repeating the same stuff for different parts of the presentation. However, the most important point that such a checklist like this presentation, it is like it might seem like super easy to understand. However, when you are doing like working with 2 apps with many locales which you are overviewing, so you should have all this knowledge structures and like going from the point to point and check, for example, short description and all the locales. So yeah, don't forget to follow the general style. So as I've said, if we are promoting some feature, we are promoting everywhere, not just in some places of your metadata, and do not spam. So 2 times is the most to use to repeat a keyword in short description or title. The same about the internal purchases in App Store. Check what appear in your search results, and check your conversion rate from page view to install of your internal purchase. So remember that internal purchases appear in the search results, and they support our app. So check your internal purchases. Where do they appear before the app or after the app? Where do they appear internal purchases of your competitors? So you might come with the point what to do with your internal purchase to support your app in search results. Perhaps you need to add more internal purchases to appear. Perhaps you need to update an icon for your internal purchase, etc., etc. Again, rating and regularity of new reviews. That's the same thing we have talked already, but look at this at the point of App Store optimization itself and influences search engine. So think on this, not from the point how users see it, but how search engine sees it. So perhaps you need to add some keywords to the answers. Perhaps you need to increase your rating and so on, so on. So look at the ratings and reviews from the point how users see them and how Google and Apple search machines are looking at them. What should you improve there? So and talking about the other business metrics, diversify. What does it mean? That sometimes on the App Store and Google Play we might find the super apps which have a lot of features in one app, all in one app. Where, for example, is talking about the fitness. The Verve one is the good example where you have exercises, diet. And many other features, and sometimes you have like 5 apps. Each of one is from, they are all of them are from the same developer, and each app is designated a given feature. So here we have an example that's travel apps from Russia. So there is 2 apps which like are super apps, 1-2-Trip, and don't remember the name of the app. So in these apps you might like order tickets, flight tickets, train tickets, bus tickets, and so on. And there is another developer too in Russia, and they have 5 different apps. An app for like super app, plus they have an app for trains, for planes, for buses, and for electric trains. So like they decided to develop a fewer apps and target the keywords, like given keywords, and not with one app, and to be vulnerable. So when you are losing positions with one web by giving keywords, you are losing like everything. And here you when you have 5 apps, so you can be more precise with each semantic cohort for such apps. So let's move to ASOdesk now, and let's look all together to the apps which you've sent to me. Check out, please, the screen, whether you see my screen. My battery. Do you see my screen, guys? Oh, my power plug, 1 second. Okay, perfect. So let's move on to the apps you have sent. Thank you. Okay, so which one will be the first one? Let's go to Fighting Trainer. Lucas, let me check. Which one was yours? Lucas. Could you please write me the name of your app, so we will look into your app. The last one. I don't see. Flashcore. Okay, clear. Yeah, we'll look into your app, the last one. So Fighting Trainer. Let's move to app profile first. So I was able to go through the metadata of this app before this lecture. So that's first time I see such kind of an app, because I've never done any martial arts. So first of all, let's look at the icon. So the icon is very clear one. the color is very strong, and the this man with the leg is like well recognizable. So I decided to check. This app, the icon of this app, in among other icons of such an apps, and came to the point that there are all the apps of a kind have very similar icons. And when we are looking just at this icon alone, this icon looks for me perfect. But when I am looking at all other icons of a kind, I'm coming to the point that like we differ. We have no difference from our competitors. And frankly speaking, when I opened this icon, I came to the like I like it, but when I opened in such a way this icon, the first icon on which I look at was this one. Despite the fact this icon is like has very low quality, it is like it has 3 elements like which is very bad, but the colors of this icon amidst all other icons is like totally different, and it has this red border which like makes us a bit about other icons of a type. So basically I would work on the icon to stand out of the crowd. And look at, for example, this example. So this is like a bad idea, I think, like it's my opinion just, but I think this is a bad example how a developer try to stand apart, like stand out of the crowd. So all the icons are red. This is a super strong color, and they have chosen white and black. And when we are looking at all these icons, we, for example, me, I don't see this icon at all. So I would better go for another pretty strong color. And this example of fighting trainer with this green, but this is like more acid drink. Acid drink color, and that's look nice. So to delete all these people and to think about some other elements, but it looks looks nice. So that would be about what I want to say about the icon. So look, for example, at the search results which we see in Google Play. So that's the same thing. You see, when a user is typing fighting trainer, so they see a lot of red icons, and our fighting trainer doesn't is the same as all others. So like we don't catch our user at all with this icon. So that would be my growth hypothesis, like to think about like saving the red color, maybe saving this element, this man with leg, however making it somehow different from the other fighting trainer icons. And now let's move to the screenshots. When it comes to the screenshots, basically again not bad. However, I would say a few things I'm thinking about the screenshots. First of all, the headers, 90 plus official moves, like, and all techniques, and even on the desktop of my browser, it is super hard for me to read what is written here. Realistic motion captured. So imagine a user on the Google Play where this text is even harder to read. So first of all, I would underline somehow my my headers to make them super readable, super eye-catching, because as I'm understanding, for those apps, number of official moves of this fighting is important, and this the value all techniques is important as well. So good point about the headers, that you are catching the most important information about this app. So number of official moves, and that you are supporting all techniques and full view. That's good. Like I like the content of these headers, but the way they are written, not. I would say like they should be super visible. It's only the matter of design, because they are pretty short, and that's very good as well. So this is a matter of design, in my opinion. Plus, I would change the background perhaps of these screenshots, because here we have an icon, pretty strong color, and if you will update the icon, it would be better to I think, like when we are looking at the app page, and we are looking at the screenshots, the power of the red on the icon is still catching our attention, and we want to come back to the icon from the screenshot. So I would work on the background, like to make it more like clear, visible, and basically that would be all. As well, I would say that, for example, I like more this part of the screenshots, like they are red, and this man, like it makes clear picture of the app. However, on the other side, it perhaps to leave only such a screenshot, such a style of the screenshots here. I would have a concern that for some people, for some users, they might think that this app is a game, because the screenshots on the right, they semble more a game, and as I understand, this is about learning techniques and different moves. So perhaps there should be some kind of a balance between showing a nice graphic of your app, but saving understanding that this is not a game. This is for learning, fighting, and different moves. That's what I would say about my ideas about update of the icon and on the screenshots. And you guys, what do you think? I would, if you would share your ideas about the icon and the screenshots to your app, we might talk about them all together. So while I will continue, you might type what you think about the icon and the screenshots of this app. Another thing I wanted to say about this app, short description. I like this call to action. That's very good. And then we don't have here a special keywords. So I would, from the point of view of conversion, that's good, but from the point of conversion here, perhaps not bad, but from the point of install rate improvement, I would say that perhaps here you should add some keywords. Our organic report might be wrong, but I checked your app in organic report, and I see that what I don't know why, because I saw it's not opening. I saw that your app is getting more installs, not from the keyword fighting trainer, but from the keyword martial arts, something like this. So, and I saw that by this keyword, if I'm not wrong, you are ranking number 4. Let me check. Let's check in store. Yeah, you're like number 2. don't know what's happening. Why it doesn't work? Anyway, I would check for some. You're number 2. So if this keywords, I would check your keywords and perhaps add some keyword to your short description. And definitely, I would add some keywords and more explanation to the title, because again, as I have said, that perhaps not all the users understand that this is an app for learning, not for gaming. So perhaps you might add mixed martial arts fighting trainer to learn, something like this. So the user see in the title, this is a fighting trainer about this MMA, and this is about to learn, not to play, something like this. So I would extend your app title and the short description. In case of full description, I like that you tried already to do a lot of stuff. So you edit HTML signs to your full description. You bolded a lot of things. You added some words about your app, like you structured your features. Not bad. The only thing I would say about your full description, that there are many, like there are too many elements. When we see, there is no like super important points which would catch our eye, so we stand at this point. So I would say that I would rather I would save the content. I will follow this way of bolding some important points. However, I would make this text more structured and to use less elements. So so if you are interested that the user sees some super important features, like fighting trainer should have at least 5 features, I don't know, the most important are these 90 plus mixed punches, different techniques, I don't know, 3D view. So use this block titles and bold them, and hide all the other elements, so the users see what is the most important about your app. I see there was a comment about this. Sorry for being quiet. Writing down the suggestion at the same time. Okay. So Roger, I'm happy that you liked the idea. So that's guys about growth hypothesization. So we are looking at the app, and as you have seen, that I was looking from the point of view of conversion, and from the point of view of App Store optimization. So Roger, as he is aware of the traffic score of the keywords, he will know better which keywords to add about in terms of App Store optimization. However, from the first point of view, I definitely see that there is a something should be improved. Yeah, that's it about fighting trainer. I see that Lucas is back. Lucas, we've done just the first app, so there were too many things to say. Let me just check for a moment your comments. Oh, I see that there are Flash Score hard users. Great. I'm happy that there is a kind of conversation between the listeners. Yeah, definitely connect on LinkedIn. Sophie, it's too late to look at my app, Zupla. Let's see how it will go with the next 2 apps. If we'll have, because in 10 minutes we have to start the next lecture, but it's okay. Let's guys, are you okay if it will take more time, and we'll move a bit our second lecture? Could you please type a plus if you are okay with it? So we'll be late a bit for the next lecture. I will do my best to make a growth hypothesis as fast as possible from my side. Okay, guys. Okay, another Vladimir have two apps from niche, crypto and gaming. So if you are willing to check this and think that it would be interesting for the people present here, I would gladly listen to your opinion. Crypto and money. Okay, you will be like last in the queue. I think Vladimir, we won't be able to check your app today, but you know, guys, we can agree on the next thing. Last time we had the ASO Academy in May. And after the academy, we organized an additional webinar about the growth hypothesis. So we were analyzing and making audit of the app. So we can agree that let's do the following way. I will analyze the two apps which have been sent before the webinar already. And you might pass your apps in the Slack community in our channel about Academy. So we'll talk later on. Perhaps we'll analyze some workshop about the growth hypothesis about your apps, and we can like meet one more time all together and look at some apps. So yeah, write about your apps. You can like describe your cases, and we can organize one more webinar. So see you in Slack. I see that competitors are meeting. That's good. Rogers, yep, no problem. Okay. Sophie, what the Slack channel again? That would be ASO Academy channel. Okay, let's go fast with other apps which have been sent. Flash score. So flash score, this is about getting information about the sports results. So first of all, I like the icon. I like this icon very much, and especially about this element, because this is super eye-catching, and the icon is clear, like two elements, the circle, white circle, and this red triangle. However, when I opened the Key Explorer, typed flash score, and especially view it in store, first of all, I saw this, that there are so many similar icons in the search results. Like, again, I'm like, if as I have no idea about such an apps, like I was just it was even funny that there are so many apps with the same icons with a different titles. So like I was a bit kind of concerned that which one to app. All the icons are the same, so I'm looking only at the title. So when we are opened it in this way, again we have all this like four the same icons. So and talking in terms of like when we see this icon alone, this is super nice, right? But when we see this icon, I was thinking so. But that's kind of I'm not sure in terms of conversion rate. Like there might be, you might check the hypothesis that perhaps people, when they see so many apps with the same icon, perhaps they yeah, I understand, Lucas. Perhaps they might download the apps which do not have such an icon. You might like check create such a growth model, like to unite all the apps in one, or I don't know, to change different icons and try to check conversion. How do they check? For example, you can save all these apps, but to create a totally different icon for each of them, and only the icon, don't change no other things, and then but create totally different icons, and then check the conversion rate of each app. So when people will be looking for the flash score, and they will see different icons, perhaps they will be choosing one icon which they will like, but that was for me, like it seems a bit strange to have all the same icons. I see that the green color is super important for such an apps. Like I think it's clear that all the apps have green color, green and I think red elements. So you might think about somehow moving from just the green color and perhaps use green elements with some other elements. When I looked at this all icons at the moment, frankly speaking, I didn't see in this area. I didn't like my eye wasn't catched by given icon. Let's check in the search results like this. I would even say this live score app would be more like seem different. This one not. This one like better than this one, but worse than this icon, I would say. And I would say the idea of this app, Go Live Score, you see, they have this, I don't know how is it in English, like this, the stroke, if I'm not wrong. When I see at all the icons, there are a lot of circles and very like circle forms. And this icon has like very strong forms. Perhaps that's not a good idea to use such a form. Like this is too strong, and all these icons look at the forms. This is more about circles and more how to say more like easy forms, not such a strong. Yeah, in terms of icon, I would say to follow the general idea about smooth lines and circle and green and red color, that's good, but I would try to stand out of the other icons. That's what I would say about this this icon. However, yes, as I've said, when we are looking alone at this icon, this is perfect. So it is always important to look at the icon in terms of other icons. When it comes to the screenshots, basically I like this header. It's super good one. And this header is a good one because you remember we have we see these three screenshots. So this header and this header I like basically. Just perhaps maybe this header I would update a bit background, because we have here the head and the rocket, so it's a bit smoothes the header, and perhaps I would make background more more clear to underline this header live score. This man is a good one. It's Peter Chekhov, right? Yes, I'm totally not like I'm not about this sport. So, but I see this helmet, so this is probably Peter Chekhov. So it's nice that he is here, and at the very first view, I was thinking about to say to add some header here. However, I think just that was a good idea just to leave it without the header, because Peter Czech is a well-known people, and I think people or the audience which is looking for such an apps, they would know him and they will like that his image is here. So there is nothing to add to this screenshot. Perhaps I would I like this part of the screenshot, but the only thing perhaps I would amplify this part, because this is very nice, like well-known football teams. However, perhaps I would try amplify. However, there is one thing that I would be afraid of creating one more strong detail here. So this would be like the third important detail in the screenshot. So we will have header, Peter Czech, and we will have like the score and 2 flags. Perhaps the screenshots will become hectic. However, I would try perhaps to make the flag of England and Spain a bit more visible, perhaps not maybe amplifying, but however, I would underline these 2 flags. And another thing I just wanted to add about these screenshots, it's all this data here is totally, it's a mess of data. So perhaps I would show here perhaps another screen of your app. Perhaps I don't know, I'm not sure if you were checking, but which sport is more popular among your users in your app. So perhaps, as I understand, football would be the most important, and we hear here the tennis. So perhaps tennis is not the most popular for your users, so you might replace it with another sport, and to find a screen which is like more clear, because I think from this screenshot what users see is only the live score and perhaps this header Wimbledon WTA, but everything I think below this point on the screenshot, users have no idea. Like this is like a mess of data. So perhaps I would make this screenshot more more clear. However, I might understand that you had an hypothesis, so making this part of the screenshots more hectic, you wanted to gain all the attention of the user at this point. So user see here a clear face, clear header, clear flags, and then full like some absolutely non-readable data on these screenshots. So in such a case, I would advise perhaps in terms of conversion rate, perhaps to work on this field, like user is not looking at this screenshot, so perhaps to save attention of the user somewhere here, we might cooperate more between icon and the screenshot. So in terms of conversion rate, I would try this one. So, or more clear in this screenshot to save attention of the users at the 3 screenshots, or saving it the same way and trying to cooperate more between the icon and the screenshots. When it comes to the title, again, I would advise to add perhaps even information from the source description, score, stats, and other info, because for users who have no idea what is the flash score, what are these apps about for the newcomers, like in my case, I have no idea what is the, when you wrote me flash score, I had no idea what is the flash score and what is the score. So perhaps you still have 50 characters in the title, so you might add some more explicit information about the title. And remember that frequently users I have no idea what is the explore rate of your app, so perhaps users in many cases see your app alone with your title alone with the icon. So for example, if me, a user who has no idea about the score apps, see your app somewhere in Explorer window, so I will see only the icon and the title of your app, I would have no idea what your app is about. That's in terms of conversion. So I would add more keywords in terms of App Store optimization to the title, and in terms of conversion rate, I would definitely add some keywords as well here. Basically, I liked that you divided all the full description into the tables. Don't hesitate to bold this fields, and I would say as well that if you are dividing your full description with this headers, so I wouldn't add caps lock here. So if we have a caps lock here, I would rather add more like this blocks of text, but without caps lock in these blocks. or simply removing this caps lock, because again, you see how many elements we here, like a lot of caps lock, and frankly, I have no idea where to look at, because a lot of caps lock. Yeah, that's what I would say about this app. And how long time? I would say that we are late. Oops, excuse me. Sophie, I would apologize, but we don't have time anymore for growth hypothesization. So let's move to the next lecture. So see you here, I think, let's agree that in 5 minutes, let's meet there. For the next lecture, we'll talk about the analysis of the competitors, and Sophie, you were asking, yes, about this to analyze Supla app. So let's because the next lecture will be pretty short. It will take maybe 20-25 minutes. So let's look at the app of Sophie Zupla in United Kingdom in the next lecture. So see you in 5 minutes, and we'll be talking about the short audit of the competitors and how to create growth hypotheses based on the analysis of on our competitors. So see you in 5 minutes. Bye.